sound of revelry was occasionally overheard in his house.
But everything seemed to be done under the rose.
And old Pluto was the only servant that officiated at these orgies.
The visitors, however, were by no means of the turbulent stamp of their predecessors, but quiet, mysterious traders, full of nods, winks, and hieroglyphic signs, with whom, to use their cant phrase,
everything was small.
Their ships came to anchor at night in the lower bay, and the private signal Vanderskamp would launch his boat,
And accompanied solely by his man Pluto.
who would make them mysterious visits.
Sometimes, boats pulled in at night in front of the wild goose, and various articles of merchandise were landed in the dark and spirited away, nobody knew whither.
one of the more curious of the inhabitants kept watch, and caught a glimpse of the features of some of these night visitors by the casual glance of a lantern, and declared that he recognized more than one of the freebooting frequenters of the wild goose of former times. From thence, he concluded that Vanderskamp was at his old game, and the mysterious merchandise was nothing more nor less than piratical plunder.
The more charitable opinion, however, was that Vanderskamp and his comrades, having been driven from their old line of business by the oppressions of government, had resorted to smuggling to make both ends meet.
Be that as it may, I come now to the extraordinary fact which is the butt end of this story. It happened late one night that Jan-Jas Vanderskamp was returning across the broad bay in his light skiff, rowed by his man Pluto. He had been carousing on board of a vessel, newly arrived, and was somewhat obfuscated in intellect by the liquor he had imbibed. It was a still, sultry night. A heavy mass of lurid clouds was rising in the west with the low muttering of distant thunder.
Vanderskamp called on Pluto to pull lustily, that they might get home before the gathering storm.
Though Nico made no reply, but shaped his course so to skirt the rocky shores of Gibbet Island.
A faint creaking overhead caused Vanderskamp to cast up his eyes, and to his horror, he beheld the bodies of his three pod companions and brothers in iniquity dangling in the moonlight.
Their rags fluttering and their chains creaking,
as they were slowly swung backward and forward by the rising breeze.
What do you mean, you blockhead?
Cried Vanderskamp.
By pulling so close to the island?
I thought you'd be glad to see your old friends once more.
Growled the Negro.
You were never afraid of a living man. What do you fear from the dead?
Who's afraid?
Hiccupped Vanderskamp, partly heated by liquor, partly nettled by the jeer of the Negro.
Who's afraid? Hang me! But I would be glad to see them, alive or dead, once more at the Wild Goose. Come, my lads in the wind!
Continued he.
Taking the draught and flourishing the bottle above his head.
Here's fair better to you in the other world. And if you should be walking the rounds tonight, odd speech, but I'll be happy you will drop into supper.
A dismal creaking was the only reply. The wind blew loud and shrill, and as it whistled round the gallows and among the poles, sounded as if there were laughing and gibbering in the air.
Old Pluto chuckled to himself and now pulled from home.
The storm burst on the voyagers and they began talking.
The rain fell in torrents, the thunder crashed and pealed, and the lightning kept up an incessant breeze. It was stark at midnight before they landed at Communipaw. With a shiver, Goodness Gap homeward.
He was completely sobered by the storm. The water soaked from without, having diluted all the liquor within.
Arrived at the Wild Goose, he knocked timidly and dubiously at the door, for he dreaded the reception he was to experience from his wife. He had reason to do so. She met him at the threshold in precious ill humor.
Is this a time
Said she.
to keep people out of their beds, to bring home company, to turn the house upside down?
Company?
Said Vanderskamp, meekly.
I have brought no company with me, wife.
No, indeed. They got here before you, but by your invitation, and blessed-looking company they are truly.
Vanderskamp's knees smote together.
For the love of heaven, where are they, wife?
Where? Why, in the blue room, upstairs, making themselves as much at home as if the house were their own. Ooh!
Vanderskamp, in a desperate effort, scrambled up to the room and opened the door.
Sure enough, there at the table on which burned the lightest, huge brimstones at the three guests from Jimmy Island.
With halters round their necks and bobbing their cups together.
As if they were hobnobbing and trolling the old Dutch freebooters' glee.
This is translated into English.
For three merry lads be we, and three merry lads be we. I on the land, and thou on the sand, and Jack on the gallows.
Vanderskamp saw and heard no more,
Starting back with poor Mrs. Pudding on the landing place.
and fell from the top of the stairs to the bottom.
He was taken out, speechless.
And either from the fall or the fright was buried in the yard at the Little Dutch Church at Bergen on the following Sunday.
From that day forward, the fate of the wild goose was sealed. It was pronounced a haunted house, and avoided accordingly.
No one inhabited it, but Vanderskamp's shrew of a widow.
And old Pluto and they were considered but little better than his hobgoblin visitors.
Pluto grew more and more haggard and morose. He spoke to no one, but went about muttering to himself, or as some say, was speaking with the devil, though unseen was forever at his elbow.
Now and then, he was seen pulling about the bay in his skiff, alone, in dark weather, or at the approach of nightfall.
Nobody could tell why unless on an errand to invite more guests from the gallows.
Some treated these as idle stories, until one night around the time of the equinox,
There was a horrible uproar in the wild goose, which could not be mistaken. It was not so much the sound of revelry, however, as strife.
The 2 or 3 fierce that pervaded every part of the village. Nevertheless, no one thought of hastening to the spot.
On the contrary, the honest burghers of Communipaw drew their nightcaps over their ears and buried their heads under their bedclothes at the thought of Vanderskamp and his gallows companions.
The next morning, some of the bolder and more curious undertook to reconnoiter. All was quiet and lightless at the Wild Goose. The door yawned open, and had evidently been open all night, for the storm had beaten into the house.
Gathering more courage from the silence and apparent desertion, they gradually ventured over the threshold.
The house had indeed the air of having been possessed by devils. Everything was topsy-turvy.
Trunks had been broken open. Chests of drawers and corner cupboards turned inside out, as in a time of general sack and pillage.
But the most woeful sight was the widow of Janos Vanderskamp. Extended a corpse on the floor of the blue chamber, with the marks of a deadly gripe on the windpipe.
All now was conjecture and dismay at Communipaw.